Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam overview class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansh श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We are discussing from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are discussing from the 13th chapter. So last time we discussed how Suta Goswami, after describing all the pastimes of how Krishna protected Parikshit Maharaj in the womb of Uttara, and then Ashwathama again shot before that Ashwathama, he had killed 5 sons of Draupadi. Then how Ashwathama was arrested and then he was released. Again he shot arrow, Brahmastra. Then Krishna saved Parikshit Maharaj in the womb of Uttara. Then after that Krishna was departing. Again Kunti Maharani came, offered beautiful prayers. Then Yudhishthir Maharaj came, requested him to please stay for some more time. Krishna stayed for a few months more. Krishna took everybody to Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev gave so many instructions to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Then he departed. In the 10th chapter, we heard the feelings of Hastinapurvasis, the feelings of separation. 11th chapter described the feelings of union of Dwarkavasis. And then again, all the Saunakadi Rishis, they remind Suta Goswami, please tell us about the birth of Parikshit Maharaj. So for Parikshit Maharaj to be enthroned, Pandavas had to retire, and for the Pandavas to retire, they have to be first enthroned, and then for that Dhritarashtra has to retire. So all these things were described in the 13th chapter. So this 13th chapter we were discussing, which is entitled Dhritarashtra Retires. So Vidura, he was on pilgrimage. He came back after hearing so many wonderful pastimes from Maitreya Rishi. Whole 3rd and 4th canto is dealing with that. He came back and he started giving wonderful instructions, very strong instructions to Dhritarashtra. He said, everybody in this world is under the influence of time. Nobody can take anything out of this world. Even one has to leave his body, which is dearmost. And just see your condition. You are already blind. Now you have become deaf also. Andha puraiva vadhiro manda pragyascha sampratam vishirna danta. Your teeth are falling. You cannot digest anything. You are living like a dog being fed by the remnants thrown by Bhima. So then in this way, very strongly, Vidura, he instructed Dhritarashtra that you just leave this home, leave this palace and go for the north. All your brothers, sisters, all your relatives have died. Why are you staying here in this condition? So in this way, he told Dhritarashtra that you should become, actually you should become Narottama. One should become Narottama. Narottama means the best of the devotees of the Lord. If you cannot become Narottama, at least become a Dhira Purush, equipoised personality. One should leave the home when he knows that now I'm about to die. He should leave home without informing any of the family members. So in this way, Vidura, he instructed, he told that you please leave for the north immediately without letting any of your relatives know. So Dhritarashtra now, after hearing such strong instructions from Vidura, he was firmly convinced in this knowledge. At once he broke all the familial bonds of affection and immediately he left home. And along with that, Vidura also left. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that Vidurji, he gave the instructions of knowledge mixed with devotion. Bhakti Mishra Gyan. So he gave the knowledge which was mixed with devotion, which was conducive for liberation. Although Dhritarashtra, he got association of such a saintly personality, but still he didn't get the highest liberation. He just, got a chance to merge into Brahman because he offended the devotees of the Lord. So many offenses he committed against the Pandavas. Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he glorifies the power of sadhu sangha. Lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoye. Prabhupada writes that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that the moment association with a saintly personality one can achieve all perfection by that. What is a lover? Lover is a fraction of a second, very, very small part of a second. And Srila Prabhupada, he writes about himself. He says, we are not ashamed to admit this fact that this was experienced by us personally. We know Srila Prabhupada, when he was young, his friend Narendra, he told, oh, there is a saintly personality, he has come, let's go. And although he was unwilling, because he had seen so many of the saintly people who were engaging in all nonsense activities, but still he was practically dragged by his friend Narendra. And Srila Prabhupada writes that, we were favored by his divine grace, his divine grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So without seeing him at that opportune moment, we would not have become such a wonderful preacher. Prabhupada writes, we would not have got the ability to preach. And then Prabhupada writes, we would have become a great business magnate. It was there in the charts of Prabhupada. He will be very rich person. But then Srila Prabhupada writes, but we could have become a great business magnate, but we would not have been able to walk on this path of liberation. That is the association of sadhus. Tyaj durjan sansargam bhaj sadhu samagamam kuru punyam ahoratram smara nityam anityatam. Tyaj durjan sansargam. Therefore, the scriptures, they tell one should leave the association of those who are non-devotees. Bhaja sadhu samagama, and please be always there in association of devotees. So in this way, after Dhritarashtra he left, the wife of Dhritarashtra, gentle and chaste Gandhari, she also followed her husband. Dhritarashtra didn't tell her that you also come. On her own, she took that decision. So So therefore, it is very, very important that many times we have to take the decisions about our lives by ourselves. Certain crucial decisions we have to take ourselves. Nobody will take that decision for us. It will come in the next chapter also. When Pandavas, they were leaving, they didn't ask Draupadi to come. They just left Draupadi and they were leaving. Draupadi on her own, she decided to follow all the Pandavas. So it is very, very important. Srila Prabhupada writes a very, very important purport there. He says that in spiritual life, so many personalities will be there helping us. Our other devotees, our spiritual master, everybody will help us. But at the last moment of death, we will be all alone. All the devotees will be around us, chanting, praying for us, but we will have to take the final call to think of Krishna. Nobody else is going to do that for us. So Gandhari, she followed, although Dhritarashtra didn't ask her to follow him, but still she followed. So they left along with Vidura. The next day, Yudhishthira Maharaj, as usual, he would come every day. After doing his morning duties, he would come to the palace of Dhritarashtra. He would offer respects to Dhritarashtra, Gandhari. This day, he came and he could not find his uncle. So Srila Prabhupada writes, Dhritarashtra suffered the effects of his own misdeeds. Whatever happened in the life of Dhritarashtra, he deserved that. But Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was so gentle and kind-hearted devotee. He was thinking, oh, I am responsible for the death of his 100 sons. Because of me, he is enduring such pain. That is the nature of a devotee. So therefore, every day he would come, offer his respects, and he would make sure that they are taken care of properly. Just like it will come in the end of this first canto, Parikshit Maharaj, when he was cursed by Shringi, after so before that, when he put that snake on the neck of Shamik Rishi, he was condemning himself. Oh, I insulted this great sage. I deserve punishment. So many times, and he said, I desire punishment. So there is a difference between deserving punishment and desiring punishment. When we commit some mistake, we generally don't think that we desire punishment. Although we may deserve punishment, but if punishment can be avoided, that will be great. Parikshit Maharaj, he desired punishment. So that is the nature of a devotee. Although he does not make any mistakes, but still he thinks I am responsible. Prabhupada in the purport, he describes about the duties of a householder, because Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was doing all his duties nicely. So Prabhupada in the purport, he describes the duties of a householder, how they should do sacrifice, worship of the deities, give charity. Then Prabhupada writes, modern householders, they are practiced to different modes of life. They rise late, then they take bed tea, do not perform any sacrifices, no charity, no worship. So that's what Prabhupada writes. Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he saw, oh, my uncle is gone, my aunt is not there, so he asked Sanjay. Sanjay was also their constant companion. He said, oh Sanjay, where is uncle? Where is our uncle who is old and blind, and where is the chaste wife of my uncle? Where is she? She was always very sad because she had to see the death of her 100 sons. She was always in a very sorrowful state. And where is Vidurji? Where is my uncle Vidura? So he told, is it that out of the pain she drowned herself? They went and drowned themselves in Ganga. That's what he's asking. Then he says, he remembers what all. That is the nature of a devotee. He's telling, when my father Pandu fell, when he died and we came back to Hastinapur, Dhritarashtra took care of us. He protected us from all kinds of calamities, although he was the one who sanctioned all types of calamities in the life of Pandavas. But still, he's telling, oh, they were always our good well-wishers. Where have they gone now? But Sanjay, he was also too much agitated and afflicted because he was also serving Dhritarashtra and he was attached to him. So, Prabhupada writes in the purport that Sanjay, he studied the situation in his own way. He did not know that Vidura had come and he instructed Dhritarashtra, and then Dhritarashtra was enlightened spiritually. So Sanjay didn't know all these facts. So he started contemplating. Prabhupada writes, unless one is convinced of a better life after renunciation of the present life, one cannot stick to the renounced order. Very, very strong statement Prabhupada is writing for all the renunciants. Unless somebody is experiencing a higher taste and higher pleasure and a better life in the renounced order, to maintain renounced order is not so easy. Very, very difficult. Prabhupada writes, simply by dressing, one cannot remain as a renunciant. Unless one develops a higher taste of Krishna consciousness, param drishtva nivartate, it is very, very difficult to maintain the renounced order of life. Just like it is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Swarup Damodar Goswami, when he took sannyas, what was the mood? निश्चिंत कृष्ण भजिबो एतो कारणे उन्माद कोरिलते हो संन्यास ग्रहणे निश्चिंत कृष्ण भजिबो. I do not want any of the other anxieties of family life. I just want to serve and worship Krishna without any distractions. If that is the mood, then sannyas life is conducive. So Sanjay, he didn't know all this, that, okay, Vidura had come. So he tried to respond by using his own intelligence. Naham veda vyavasitam pitrorvah kulanandana gandharyava mahabaho mushitosmi mahatma bihi. This is a very, very famous verse where Sanjay is telling, Naham veda, I do not know. I have no information. Where is Dhritarashtra? I don't know about your two uncles. Where is Gandhari? I'm not sure where they all went. Indeed, O king, I have been cheated by the great souls. Mushitosmi. Prabhupada writes a very nice purport. He says, the great souls cheat others. May be astonishing to know. Generally, why great souls will cheat? But Prabhupada writes, great souls cheat others for a great cause. One time Srila Prabhupada, he was giving a class and he asked all the disciples, is devotee simple or crooked? So devotee said, yes, Prabhupada, devotees are simple. Prabhupada said, are you sure? Devotee said, yes, Prabhupada, how can devotees do anything in a crooked way? Prabhupada said, no, devotee is crooked, just like me. He said, I came to your country and I tricked all of you to come to Krishna consciousness. When he came to, Prabhupada went to America, he fed them so much, such nice prasad, he gave them such love. And Srila Prabhupada, he would keep a jar full of gulab jamuns at the gate of the center. And whenever somebody would think, okay, enough of this chanting and all the other things, I want to go. So then as he's passing by, he would see the jar of gulab jamun and then he would think, okay, last. Anyways, I'm not going to get it again. Takes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he starts thinking, maybe it is not so bad, I'll stay here. That's how Srila Prabhupada, he tricked all the devotees. Mushitosmi, he cheated, but the great souls cheat for the great cause. What is the great cause? Whatever is the desire of Krishna, that is the greatest cause. In Mahabharata, Krishna told Yudhishthir Maharaj to lie. That was the greatest cause. It was a cheating, but it was for a higher cause. Prabhupada writes, satisfaction of the Lord is the criteria of one who is bona fide. And the highest perfection of life is to satisfy the Lord. Samsiddhir Hari Toshanam. Samsiddhir Hari Toshana. Satisfaction of Krishna is the ultimate criteria. Even if somebody is cheating, that should be for the pleasure of Krishna, and that should be for the higher purpose, to bring others close to Krishna. Atah pumbher dvija sreshta varnashrama vibhagashah swanushchitasya dharmasya sansiddhir haritoshanam. So as Yudhishthira Maharaj is lamenting, condemning himself, Sanjay is confused, what is happening? He's speaking, Narad Muni arrives. Narad Muni is such a wonderful personality. He's always there to facilitate the pastimes of the Lord. He's always there, somehow or other, bringing people close to Krishna, facilitating the pastimes of Krishna. So Narad Muni appeared carrying his tumburu. Tumburu is a famous instrument, veena, which is carrying. Devadattam imam veenam swar brahma vibhushitam. So Krishna personally gave this veena to Narad Muni, and it was named as Tumburu. So when Maharaj Yudhishthira saw, oh, great personality, Narad Muni has come, he got up and he said, oh, godly personality, I do not know where my two uncles have gone. Please tell me. He was so disturbed. So before that, he properly welcomed him, made him seated nicely. He offered nice reception and welcome. That is obvious. Then he asked, I do not know, Narad Muni, where are my two uncles? And I'm not able to find where is my ascetic aunt. She was so very grief stricken. I don't know where she has gone. Prabhupada focuses on this word ascetic. Tapasvi, Prabhupada writes. An ascetic is never disturbed by all kinds of sufferings. And then Prabhupada writes a very strong thing. That those sufferings make an ascetic more strong and determined on the path of Krishna consciousness. So that is the crux of consciousness of a devotee. Problem comes, it is to make us strong. It is to make us determined in the process of Krishna consciousness. It is not to make us weak. When we struggle, when we push ourselves to handle all these problems, in the course of all these things, we become more and more strong. And the foundation of all these things is we should have this understanding that whatever is happening in my life, Krishna is orchestrating in such a way that I can become more Krishna conscious. Krishna will never put a devotee in a situation that will bring him down. If Krishna has put us in certain situation which is unfavorable, it is for two reasons. To thank Krishna and to make us more and more strong. So therefore, Prabhupada writes that Queen Gandhari is a typical example of a ascetic woman. And she is a marvelous character in Mahabharata. She was such a chaste wife. When she was married and she came to know that, oh, her husband is blind, she blindfolded her, and whole life she didn't open that. Only once, to see Duryodhan, she opened her blindfold. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is telling, oh, Narad Muni, you are like the captain of the ship, in this great ocean of distress. Please guide us, direct us, bring me out of this sorrowful state. And then Sud Goswami says, when Narad Muni was asked, the greatest of the philosopher devotees began to speak, Sud Goswami tells. And Prabhupada focuses on this philosopher devotee. Prabhupada writes, unless one has become a sufficiently learned philosopher by hearing the scriptures, he cannot become a devotee. He cannot become a philosopher devotee without learning scriptures. So the scriptures, to understand scriptures, to imbibe the scriptures, there are three things: Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Shravanam means to read or hear, then contemplation, and then application. Constant. This is a constant activity of a devotee. Not that, okay, once in a week I'll open Bhagavatam and read. Oh, I'm not getting time. No. It is a constant activity of a devotee. Every day's activity. It is not an option. It is compulsory. That will make a devotee strong. We don't want devotees to become sentimental. Things are going good, I'm happy in Krishna consciousness, Hari Bol. But when things are wrong, maybe it is not for me. Margah babhuva sandigdha trineshannah hya samskritah na abhyasyamana shrutayo dvijay kalena chahata. Just like in a forest, when somebody is constantly walking, there is a forest path which is created. But in the rainy season, nobody is walking, the path becomes covered by the weeds. Similarly, if we don't scriptures regularly, our mind, our intelligence will be covered by the weeds of the doubts. Prabhupada writes, very beautiful line. One must be faithful, learned, and renounced. Otherwise, one cannot be a pure devotee. Very, very strong statement. One should be faithful, learned, and renounced. One should be faithful towards the Lord, learned in scriptures, and renounced from material activities. These three things are very, very important. Unflinching faith in the Lord, learned in scriptures, and detached from the material activities. So first, Narad Muni starts philosophically explaining, dispelling the doubt of Yudhishthira Maharaj, the grief of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So actually, in the beginning, Yudhishthira Maharaj was about to just faint because of the lamentation and the sorrow and the grief. So first, Narad Muni, he appeased his lamentation. He tells, "Oh Yudhishthira Maharaj, nobody can stop separation. Anybody who has come in this world in a family relationship has to be separated. Ma kanchan shucho rajan yadishwara vasham jagat loka sapala yasye me vahanti balimishitu sa samyunakti bhutani sa eva vyunakti cha." So he's telling, Ma kanchan shucho, O Yudhishthira Maharaj, please do not fear, do not lament. Shucha, lament. Because Yad Ishvara Vasham Jagat, everything in this world is under the control of the Supreme Lord. Why are you lamenting? Loka Sapala Yasye Me, along with the rulers of the various planets, everyone is under the control of the Supreme Lord. Just like Vahanti Balim Ishitu, all living beings and their leaders, they carry the order of the Supreme Lord. By the order of the Supreme Lord, the living entities come together and they get separated. Because everything is happening by the will of the Lord. In the 10th canto, it is described, Naikatra Priya Samvasa Suridam Chitra Karmanam Oghena Vyuhamananam Plavanam Srotasoyatha. Just like in a river, if any of you have been to a river and two straws, sometimes they come together. stay for some time, and then again they get separated. That is what is our existence. By the will of the providence, according to our karma, we come together in a family relationship, stay for some time, and then they get separated. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, everyone in this world is abiding by the orders of the Lord. Starting from Brahma, Prabhupada writes a list of personalities, names of lists of, so many names. Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Yudhishthir Maharaj. And then he tells, and in the present history, Napoleon, Akbar, Alexander, Nehru, Gandhi, Subhash. So all these names he's writing, he's telling, all are servants of the Lord. Nobody can deny that they are not servants of the Lord. They are placed in and removed by the orders of the Lord. Nobody is independent controller here. Prabhupada writes, one cannot change the course of his happiness and distress. Everything is happening by the will of the Lord. And this will of the Lord is acting according to the time factor. What is this time factor? The time factor is the Supreme Lord himself. Sarvam kalakritam manye bhavatam cha yada priyam sapalo yadvashe loko vayo riva ghanavali. As Bhishma is telling, Bhishma Dev is telling, oh, sarvam kalakritam, everything is happening by the time factor. Just like the winds, the clouds are carried away by the winds. Everybody in this world is carried from one place to another by the power of time. So therefore, the best thing is that one should endeavor for salvation. Why wander from uppermost planetary system to the lowermost planetary system? Only one thing we have to endeavor to get salvation, to develop Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, if somebody misuses this opportunity of human life, it is condemned. So then, to support this, whatever he told, he gives two examples. Yatha gavo nasi protas tantyam baddhasya damabhihi vak tantyam namabhir baddha vahanti balimishituhu. Just like a rope, a cow, is controlled by the rope which is passing through the nose. Similarly, everybody in this world is controlled by the rope of Vedic literatures. So the laws of material nature which are stated in the Vedic scriptures, they are controlling all the living entities. Nobody can defy the laws of material nature. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that, what is the connection between the rope? So he says that just like each cow has a rope tied to its nose, and all the cows are tied with one rope. What is the connection between the smaller ropes and the longer rope? The Vedas is the longer rope. And the humans, all of us, we are bound by the short ropes of our designations, according to the Vedas. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. These are our designation. Prabhupada in the purport, he describes that the secular state or a godless state allows the citizens to break the laws of God, but restricts them by, from disobeying the laws of nature, laws of the state. Oh, it is okay to break the laws of God, but you should obey the laws of the state. What is the law of God? One should not kill animals. Oh, chalega, it is no problem. But the result is they suffer more. Second example he gives. Yatha kriyopaskaranam samyoga vigamaviha ichchaya kriditusyatam tathe veshechchaya nipaninam. Just like a player sets up and disperses all the playthings according to his will. Similarly, Supreme Lord, he brings men together and disperses them as per his will. Everything in this world is happening by the will of the Lord. As they say, as it is said, not even a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. But somebody may argue that, but Lord is bound to award the reactionary results of our own activities, right? Whatever we will do, we will get the reaction according to that. But it is not so. Prabhupada writes, we must always remember that the Lord's will is always the supreme. He's not bound by any law. Generally, the laws of karma, they work and we get the results according to our activities. But Prabhupada writes, in special cases, by the will of the Lord, if he wants, the resultant actions can be changed. As it is described, yasyaham anugrahinami harishye tad dhanam shanaihi. Krishna is supreme transcendental autocrat. If he likes, he can change our destiny, he can change our reactions, our karma. Generally, Lord does not do that. Prabhupada writes, this change of resultant actions happens especially when a pure devotee is in picture. Lord uses his pure devotees. Just like in the case of Pandavas, they had no karmic reaction. Still they are suffering so much. Why? By the will of the Lord. Mother-in-law teaches daughter-in-law by punishing her daughter. So Krishna wants to teach the whole world. That's why he is using his own devotees. So therefore Narad Muni is telling, oh, this soul is eternal. Why are you lamenting for the body which is anyways going to change, which is anyways going to die? So therefore give up your anxiety. You are thinking that, oh, how they will live, how they will maintain. You should not worry about that. Everything in this world is maintained by the Supreme Lord. Every living creature is allowed protection by the Lord. Kal karma gunadhino dehoyam pancha bhautikaih kathamanyam stu gopayet sarpagrastho yathaparam. O king, no one can protect others. Everything in this world is controlled by the Lord. Kala, karma, guna, adhin. Everything in this world is under the control of time, action, and the modes. These three are the controlling principles of this material nature. Time, kala, karma, and the modes. Guna and the karma. Dehoyam panchabhautikai. This material body, which is made up of gross elements, 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, it is under the control of kala, karma, and guna. Just like the snake captures another animal, cannot do anything. So how can a animal or like a frog already in the jaws of a snake, how can that frog protect another living entity? Not possible. Sarpagrasto yathaparaha. Every one of a living entity in this world, they are in the jaws of the snake of time. How can we protect others? Krishna's will always prevails. Mare Krishna rakhe Krishna mare ke. If Krishna wants to save anybody, who can kill him? If Krishna wants to kill him, who can save him? As Prahlad Maharaj says, Balasya neha sharanam pitarau narasimha nartasya jagadamudanvati majjato nau taptasya tat pratividhirya hanja sheshta tavad vibhotanubhritam tvadupekshitanam. Oh my Lord, if you neglect somebody, what is hope for him? A child cannot be protected by his parents. A physician cannot protect a patient. A boat cannot take one across the ocean if you neglect that personality. So therefore, everything is happening by the will of the Lord. And Prabhupada writes, only by the practice of devotional service one can come out of this modes of material nature, come out of this time factor. Everybody is under the control of time, only Krishna is beyond time. Natasmatenath sadangri pankajam virincha vairincha surendra vanditam Parayanam shemam ihechatam paraha na yatra kalaha prabhavet parah prabhu. We heard in the 11th chapter, Dwarkavasis, they are telling, oh my Lord, we offer our respects unto your lotus feet. Your lotus feet are worshipped by Brahma, Shiva, four Kumaras, all the directors of the universe. All these people, they are under the control of time. You are not. So therefore, one who is free, he can free others. As Gajendra is praying, oh my Lord, you are free, you are muktaya, you can free me. So Prabhupada writes, unless one is situated in the mode of goodness, one cannot see things as they are. When one situates himself in the mode of goodness by practice of spiritual life, then he can see things as they are. He can see everything is happening by the will of the Lord. And then Narad Muni tells, why are you worrying? Everybody in this world is maintained. Everyone's maintenance is already provided by the Lord. Why are you worrying? Ahastani sahastanam apadani chatushpadam falguni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivanam. Those who do not have any legs, they are food for those with legs. Those who have no hands, they are food for those with hands. But somebody may say, but snake has no legs, still he is eating. Frog which has legs, so this is confusing. No, the principle is Falguni Tatra Mahatam. Weaker are the subsistence of the strong. Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. One living entity is the food for other living entity. That is a general principle. Why is Vidura telling this? Because Yudhishthira Maharaj is thinking, Are, who will take care of Dhritarashtra? How they will be maintained? Oh, Lord has made arrangement for everyone. Oh, Yudhishthira Maharaj, you don't worry about that. Your uncle and aunt will also be maintained. You don't have to go and bring them back. Prabhupada in the purport focuses on eating prasad, what we should eat. And then he says, Yudhishthira Maharaj may say, oh, you have said that everything depends on the Lord, but now you are also telling that everything is dependent on Kala, Karma and Guna. What is this happening? So then Narad Muni tells, Tasmadivam Tadivam Bhagavan Rajan Ekam Atmatmanam Swadrik Antaro Anantaro Bhati Pashyam Tam Mayayoruddha. Oh Maharaj, Yudhishthir, you should see that Supreme Lord is the only person who is manifesting all this material world by his different energies. So one should not have feelings of separation based on material platform. That's what Prabhupada writes. One should not get attached because I am related. Oh, this is my wife, this is my husband. Everything is coming from the Supreme Lord. So this is all illusory. Whatever material nature is providing. When a old man sees the wife dying and the wife dies, he laments, oh mera kitna khayal rakhti thi. So he is not lamenting for the wife. He is lamenting now, who will take care of me? So this is the thick illusion which is there in this material world. So therefore, Narad Muni is telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, oh Yudhishthira Maharaj, please see Krishna's plan acting in the life of Dhritarashtra and Gandhari and Vidura. Please don't intervene. Please don't go and bring them back. It is all happening by the will of the Lord. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is trying to bring, Narad Muni is trying to bring Yudhishthira Maharaj out of lamentation. And he's bringing him closer to Krishna. That is how we should counsel people who are in distressful situation. Taking them out of the material lamentation and connecting them to Krishna. These are the two aspects of counseling. Taking them out of the material lamentation by telling them the realities of life, about the spiritual knowledge, and then connecting them to Krishna. So therefore, Narad Muni tells, please understand the mission of the Lord. The Supreme Lord has a plan, has a mission, and that's why he has descended in this world to annihilate the miscreants, to nourish the devotees. So therefore, you should understand that Lord has a plan. So now Yudhishthira Maharaj was planning. Okay, now my uncle and my aunt, they have gone, so I have to do something. So Narad Muni tells, forget it. Forget all that. I will tell you what you should do now. Tells, Lord has already performed all his duties because he appeared in this world on the request of the Devatas to establish the principles of Dharma, to annihilate the miscreants. So he has already performed all his activities and he is about to complete the remaining. So you Pandavas, you please wait, stay on this earth till the time Lord is there. Again, very interesting thing. Narad Muni knew that all the Yadavas, they have already departed. Just like Vidura didn't tell, Narad Muni also didn't tell that the destruction of Yadu family has already happened. He also didn't tell. So after philosophically dispelling the doubts of Yudhishthira Maharaj, now he is describing the future movements of Dhritarashtra, Gandhari and Vidura. It tells, O king, your uncle Dhritarashtra, his brother Vidura and his wife Gandhari, they have all gone to the southern part of the Himalayas, and there is a place called Sapta Srota. It is a place where Ganga divides into 7 branches. There Dhritarashtra is now engaging in mystic yoga meditation, Ashtanga yoga, and he is taking bath 3 times a day and he's practicing meditation on the Brahman, and he is doing Agnihotra sacrifice with his mind focused on the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada in the purport, he describes what is a yoga process. It is a mechanical way. Ashtanga yoga process is a mechanical way to control the senses, control the mind, and focus on the Supreme Lord. So Dhritarashtra's whole life he was engaged in all the family affairs, but now by the mercy of his brother Vidura, he could detach himself and focus on the Supreme Brahman. So then Narad Muni tells about the various processes of Ashtanga yoga. He tells one who has controlled his mind and senses, he can turn towards the Supreme Lord who is there in the heart as Paramatma seated. So Dhritarashtra, what he'll do, he'll practice this Ashtanga yoga, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dhyana, Dharana. So, and then he will amalgamate his material body with intelligence, then merge in Mahat Tattva. So Srila Prabhupada, he writes how the creation happens. Mahat Tattva creates Ahankar, and from Ahankar all the elements they come, the 5 material elements, the 5 working senses, knowledge acquiring senses, everything is coming from the Mahat Tattva. So the disintegration happens also in the reverse way. So Dhritarashtra, so Narad Muni is telling, he'll amalgamate his body with the intelligence and he'll merge in the Supreme Brahman. And then what he'll do, he'll suspend all the actions of his senses and he'll be established in the supreme Brahman. He'll be absorbed. From the fifth day, mostly from today on the fifth day, King Dhritarashtra, he will merge in Brahman and his body will be burned to ashes. Because Yudhishthir Maharaj hearing all this, oh, my father, my uncle is meditating and he'll amalgamate. No, I'll bring him back. So Narad Muni tells, do not be an obstacle. He's on a path of liberation. Do not disturb him. Yudhishthir may say, okay, I just want to see him. He said, no. From now, from fifth day, from today, he'll give up his body. At least I'll get his body. The body will be burned to ashes. I'll go and get Gandhari. Gandhari, seeing her husband in this mystic fire, because the fire will come out of the body of Dhritarashtra and it will burn the body and the cottage. So Gandhari, she will, because she is the most chaste lady, and for a chaste wife in the previous times, it was said that the fire of separation from their husband was such a terrible fire, they could not bear that. So they thought better to jump in the fire along with the husbands. So Gandhari will perform sati rite, that is called sati. She will also enter the fire and she will also burn herself. Prabhupada in the purport, he writes that, of course, in today's age, it has become an obnoxious criminal affair where the women are forced to jump into the fire. That was not the mood. It was a voluntary affair. Dhritarashtra, Yudhishthira may think, okay, at least I'll go and bring Vidura back. So Narad Muni tells, no. He will also leave after seeing the glorious departure of his brother. He will also leave that place and go to the pilgrimage. So after this, Chakravarti Thakur writes that Vidura, he was very happy that at least my brother, he attained a higher destination. Although he could not become a Narottama, he became a Dhira Purush. At least he attained Brahman realization. Why he did not attain Prema? Because he offended the devotees of the Lord. So after speaking all these things, Narad Muni, he ascended to the heavens to preach the glories, spread the glories of the Krishna, and Yudhishthir Maharaj, hearing all these instructions, he forgot all the lamentation and he was situated in his services properly. This story shows the power of saintly association. It is a boon. Saintly association is a boon, greatest boon, because it gives clarity what we have to do in life. If devotees are not there, it is impossible to practice Krishna consciousness. Devotees are needed at every stage of life, even at the stage of bhava, because in the fifth canto we know the story, Bharat Maharaj was at the level of bhava, but still, because there was no devotee to correct him, to tell him, oh Bharat Maharaj, you are deviating, so he had to take 2 more births. So that is the power of saintly association, that a person like Dhritarashtra, who was a party to so many sinful activities, he also could attain liberation. So that is the glory of association of Vaishnavas. This is the end of this chapter. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So anybody has any questions, you can please ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes,
Prabhuji, Prabhuji, you said about the bhava stage. So for sadhakas like us, is it possible only we have to be satisfied with anartha nivritti?
See, it depends on our intensity, our eagerness. We can cross this stage of anartha nivritti in one life or one moment. You know you must have seen that famous video. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, how long it will take to become a pure devotee? Prabhupada said, one moment. He said, Prabhupada, we have so many anarthas. Will it be possible to go back to the spiritual world in this lifetime? Prabhupada said, you have not read Bhagavad Gita? One moment is sufficient, you know. So it depends on our intensity of practicing Krishna consciousness. So, but the hope is there because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there. He is Patita Pavan, but he is not Kapata Pavan. He gives mercy to those people who are really serious, sincerely struggling. So we have to keep struggling. Whether we get ecstasy or not, whether we are happy or not, keep struggling. Of course, you know, when we practice bhakti, we will become happy for sure. But in between, some phase come when we are not so happy, some problems are there in life, you know. But still, whether it gives happiness or no happiness, we should continue practicing Krishna consciousness. Kalam pratikshan vimado vimatsaraha. You know, as in the 5th chapter, Narad Muni tells about his past life. Kalam pratikshan. We have to just wait for the time to come when Krishna will purify us. Don't become envious of others. Don't become intoxicated by the by the opulence we have. Just keep on practicing. Don't worry so much whether we'll become free. Arey kitna lifetime lega? One lifetime, 2 lifetimes, or this lifetime will go. That is not our job. We should be doing what is in our hand, and Krishna will take care of what is not in our hand. So that is what is important to understand. Okay, just keep on practicing the basic simple processes of bhakti. That's all. We don't have to do any gymnastics. Glamorous, achievements do not please the Lord so much. Consistent devotional service pleases the Lord much more. Somebody must have seen in some of the festivals or some programs, somebody comes, some people come and do so many services and they are disappeared, not to be seen again. They are gone. That is not so much pleasing to the Lord. On the contrary, if somebody is just continuing to do simple, humble, menial service day after day, regularly throughout life, he catches attention of Krishna more. So that should be our mood. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Could you share a little more on the living entities coming from Mahat Tattva? Yeah, that is a huge elaborate discussion. It will come in the 2nd canto. Just to give you a brief about that, when Mahavishnu is lying down in the causal ocean, just like we also sweat from the pores of Mahavishnu, there is a dravya which comes. There is a material which comes. That is a prakriti. In that prakriti, Lord glances. The glance of the Lord impregnates the material nature with 4 things: Jiva, Kala, Karma, and Swabhava. So this 4 things along with prakriti is called as Pradhan. So in this Pradhan, the time factor is acting and the 3 modes of nature act. It transforms into Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva is predominantly in the mode of goodness. Then it transforms into mode of passion, then ignorance. Mahat Tattva in the mode of ignorance is called as Ahankar. As we know, the Ahankar. This Ahankar is the seed of everything we see in this world. This Ahankar transforms into 3 modes. In the mode of goodness, it transforms into mind and the 10 sense devatas. In the mode of passion, it transforms into intelligence and 10 senses. In the mode of ignorance, it transforms into 5 gross elements and 5 objects of the senses. So that is a transformation of Mahatattva. No living entities come out from Mahatattva. Living entities are impregnated in the Prakriti, you know, and all this Prakriti, they form the gross body and subtle body of the living entities, the souls. Okay, so that's the understanding. Any other question anybody has? Okay, so there are no questions. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.